Thank you for joining us on another episode of Social Justice with Rev.Kevin McCall. We are praying with you during this pandemic in our country, in our city, and in our neighborhood. We want you to continue to focus on the things that's happening around you, but most of all, use this time to focus on God and to focus on fighting for what you believe in. Take a pencil or a pen and write the vision and make it plain. In these episodes, you will see past things that we have fought for the rights of individuals, such as police brutality, housing, and such. Thank you for joining us.
As our battle with this coronavirus pandemic continues, activists in Brooklyn say an East New York nursing home is struggling to cope with the volume of bodies. They also say management isn't doing enough to protect their staff. News 12's Hannah Klieger has more on that.
Activists and nurses gathered outside Linden Center for Nursing and Rehabilitation on Tuesday. They say the facility's management has failed to deal with this pandemic properly.
What we are calling on is an investigation by the state and the city and all the regulatory agencies.
Some workers at the center say the morgue has run out of space to put those who have died, so they are keeping them in an overflow room.
Bodies are being placed in rooms where there are patients in the rooms alongside the body.
A representative for the nursing home told us they got a temporary morgue to alleviate the backlog. They're also calling on management to provide better protection for staff and especially nurses by providing them with adequate PPE. The nursing home rep tells us they have an adequate supply of PPE, but staff say they are being asked to keep the same gowns on all day.
You come out of one room, that gown is contaminated. You're supposed to remove it and get rid of it. We are asked to go into other rooms with this same one gown, and that is not sanitary.
Another issue, hazard pay. Nurses say a bonus structure has been implemented, awarding them with additional money for working a consecutive week. But they say it's not the same as providing hazard pay for those risking their own health.
If they want to put their life on the line for providing a service, then give them the damn pay they deserve.
Violent arrest in New York. This man's attorneys say the cops were, quote, out of control. Were they? We're hearing from the NYPD and the family.
When do we want it? Now!
A family says they're outraged after the controversial arrest of a 20-year-old New York man has gone viral. We want to show you the video and warn you at the same time that the first video you're about to see is where the suspect, Fitzroy Gale, was first approached by a plainclothes NYPD officer. Watch.
What crime did I commit? Look, you gotta hurt me? You gotta hurt me? What did I do? What did I do? What did I do? I did not do anything.
So he calls for backup. More officers arrive at the scene. Someone can be heard saying, "I did not commit any crimes."
I did not commit any crimes. I did not commit any crimes. I did not commit any crimes.
We have reached out to the NYPD, and here is what they say led up to this arrest. Listen.
Two officers, I think, encountered two males in a park. As they approached them, they believe they're smoking marijuana. As they go to interact with them, again, they just had these shots fired in the area. The two males immediately take off running in different directions.
I want to bring in Fitzroy Gale, the man arrested, family attorney Sanford Rubenstein, Fitzroy's mother, Daphne Gale, and the Reverend Kevin McCall, the National Action Network. To all of you, thank you for joining me. Fitzroy, I'll start with you. First and foremost, how are you doing?
Not good.
Why?
What he has to do is be here to explain how he's feeling, but can't go any further. He's going to be a witness in a major prosecution, if there is one, of this police officer. So at this time, that's the most he can respond.
So, Sanford, explain to me then what happened. According to the police, there were two men at the park. They were approached. There was shots possibly fired. They were approached and they ran. Did your client run from police?
Well, clearly, they were not involved in the shoots the shots being fired. The police commissioner has made that clear. Whether they ran or not is not important. What's important is what happened when he was stopped, hands up. This is why stop and frisk is such a terrible, unconstitutional policy. And he's telling me he did nothing wrong. And then he gets pounced on, stopped on by multiple police officers, and you can see one of them stomping on his ankle, and the police officer also acknowledged that that was something that troubled him. This should not be happening in this city, in this country, in this state.
Sanford, you say it doesn't matter that if your client ran from police. Unfortunately, it does. If somebody runs from police when there's possible shots fired in the area, it's important that that is investigated for the safety of the area.
Really
whether or not your client...
He is not supposed to run from the police. There's not a crime to be able to, in this country, in this city, especially in New York City, where stop and frisk is up, people are scared for their lives of police officers. You saw Eric Garner happen live on tape. The mother saw the video. And that's the first thing that she thought about was Eric Garner. So there's no crime for running from the police at all. He had his hands up. He didn't break the law. He actually followed everything that we teach young people what to do when you're stopped by the police by putting your hands up and asking the police, why are you stopping me? Why I'm being detained? And the police officer ignoring him. His mom came maybe to speak more about how she saw the video and it thought of Eric Garner.
And, you know, to you, Daphne,
Yeah, sure.
You know, we heard from the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office. They said they're aware of the concerns. They said they're going to review the incident. The NYPD said they're reviewing the incident as well. Tell me what you thought as a mother when you went watching that video.
You know, as a mother, and every other mothers out there, and father and family members, you just look at this video and see that, you know, something is wrong, because as a mother, and, you know, you realize it's your own child that you birth. Is like, you know, it's someone who already lost a child. That's the only person can have an experience, or someone who abused by the NYPD. And it just hurt me so much that I cannot explain.
That the police be held.
Sanford, go ahead.
I'm sorry, what's really important here is that these police officers be held accountable for their assault of this young man when he was on the ground. That's clearly shown on this video, pictures of the truth.
And talk to me a little bit about when you see this video, and if we can put the video back up, and we play it in its entirety so that people see the interaction from when they first walked up. Tell me whether or not your client was given any sort of, what kind of commands was he given, and what do you say happened?
The police were right across the street from the park. The police was right across the street from the park, so he didn't run anywhere at all. He was in compliance. He walked. He asked the police officer, what happened? Why you're stopping me? What's the reason why? I didn't do anything. I don't give you consent to search me. And the officers just came like they were in a zoo and ran and threw him on the ground. So how can he be charged with resisting arrest, disorderly conduct, obstruction of governmental administration when he didn't do anything? Who was the real victim? Was the police department, who actually committed a crime of kidnapping him because he did not do nothing wrong. The police commissioner responded to this, the mayor responded to this, but they didn't. If you want to send a clear message in New York City, don't just have questions regarding. Put these officers in jail. Put these officers on modified duty. Get them to be able to have them fired from the New York City Police Department. This is not a case of police training. No, this officer several officers attended to throw him on the ground, intended to kick him repeatedly. So this is something that has to be addressed. If you want to send a clear message to the mayor and the police commissioner, fire these police officers.
Sanford, what were his
We will
injuries?
be moving in court to have all of these charges against him dismissed and fully cooperating with the criminal probe being conducted by the Brooklyn District Attorney's Office of the actions of these police officers.
Sanford Rubenstein, Fitzroy, and Daphne Gale, along with Rev.Kevin McCall. Thank you all for being with us. We're going to continue to stay on this story.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
All New Yorkers, stay safe. The coronavirus will pass. I'm attorney Sanford Rubenstein. Scott Wernicke and I have helped thousands of victims obtain money damages. Our phones remain open 24/7 for free consultations. So if you've been injured in an accident, a fall, suffered from medical malpractice, or been victimized by police brutality, don't wait. Call us now at 1-800-447-HURT. That's 1-800-447-HURT.
on, y'all, clap your hands. Look where it brought me from. Yeah. Look where it brought me from. Look where it brought me from. Oh, look where it brought me from. Go sing. Look where. Put your glasses on and look. Yeah. Oh, we out of darkness. Place our feet. Look where. You ought to look. Anybody know God's been good to you? Yeah, look, yeah. Look where He brought you from. Look where. Come on and clap your hands. Come on, let's have some church in here. You ought to look, yeah. Yeah, look, yeah. You ought to be out of darkness. Place my feet. Everybody clap your hands. Come on, put those hands together. Put those hands together. Put it. Put those hands together. If your neighbor's trying to be cute, you ought to push her and say, "What you waiting on? Let's have some more touch." Come on. He brought me from a mighty long way. He brought me from. He brought me from a mighty long way. I don't know about you. When I think about what the Lord did, done for me, He brought me from a mighty long way. He covered me in the schoolhouse. He guided me past the jailhouse. Somebody in here, you ought to be a witness. He brought you from a mighty long way. Yeah! From a mighty long way. From a mighty long way. Brought me from. Now everybody clap your hands. Clap your hands this week. Now everybody clap your hands. Clap your hands. Clap your hands this week. Yes, sir. Put them together. You ought to act like the devil in between your hands. Put them together. From a mighty long way. From a mighty long way. What you need to do, think back where the Lord brought us from. Can I tell you what He did? He brought us from the back of the bus to the front of the bus. Then He blessed us to drive the bus. Then He put another blessing to own the bus. To own the bus. The Lord's been good. He's been mighty, mighty good. Can I say it like I feel it? He's been mighty, 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 Where me from? And praise Him. Clap your hands right there, y'all. Come on. Look at your neighbor and say, He brought me from a mighty long way. Brought me from a mighty long way. Come on, say, from a mighty long way.
Yes. We want to honor Dr. King. Let's honor him properly.
When Usain Bolt runs a race, you appreciate him from the start to the progressive middle to the end. Talk back to me. Then if we're going to honor Dr. King, honor him how he began, how he progressed, and where he ended up. Stop teaching the young black brothers and sisters in schools only about 1963. He had other speeches after 63 that represented his evolutionary development. Google them right now and look them up tonight. And stop talking about, I have a dream. When the scripture says, when the people have no vision, they perish. Because of the knowledge of self, our people are awakening everywhere on the planet. And revolution is beginning to take place. And tyrants, because of knowledge, are going to be uprooted. Do you understand? The Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan says that knowledge cultivates before it empowers. So we just don't run with the statement, knowledge is power. Knowledge cultivates. It's like a farmer having a seed. You have to plant the seed in the earth, and a shoot has to go down, then a turn, and it brings up what you want, and a root is established, but the cultivation is the byproduct that comes from it, but you don't have it unless water falls on it. So you can have the knowledge of a thing, but the knowledge of it must cultivate something in you. Then it will empower you, and then knowledge will lead to total empowerment of us as a people. But something must be cultivated inside of ourselves. And when we miss, all praise is due to Allah, when we miss the cultivation part of knowledge, that's why we are many who have knowledge, but we are fool with knowledge. Because there's no cultivation of the spirit, no cultivation of the mind, no cultivation of the heart, no development of character, no holding and being pinned down and undergirded by immutable principles.
Him with a warm round of applause, Minister Hafeez Muhammad.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. That's you? I don't know who that is. I don't know. One of you brothers, take it. Just take it. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Merciful, all praise belongs to Allah, the Lord of the worlds. To Allah alone do I submit and seek refuge in. It is He who is the revealer of all truths, the sender of all prophets, and the creator of all living things. We thank Allah for Moses and the Torah. We thank Him for Jesus and the gospel, and we thank Him for Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him and the revelation of the Holy Quran. I am a student of the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, under the divine guidance of the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. The Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the eternal leader of the Nation of Islam, and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad is the exalted servant of Almighty God, Allah. It is the Honorable Elijah Muhammad who has taught us and teaches us the reality of God in the person of the great Mahdi, Master Fard Muhammad, to whom all praise is forever due. We are thankful to Master Fard Muhammad and the Honorable Elijah Muhammad for producing their son of truth,
justice, and a watchman for the children of Israel, meaning the black man and woman of America and the world. I speak of none other than the tried and tested servant of God, the man that is representing the Jesus, and he is that Jesus in our midst, the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan. I wish to greet you this morning, my beloved brothers and sisters, with the greeting words of peace. We say it in the Arabic language, Assalamu alaikum. Brothers and sisters, I'm truly honored and thank Allah for his grace of life, health, and strength. I ask him to keep me in strong character, in dignity and self-respect, and his ever-abounding love that's wrapped up in his law and his truth. I'm honored to serve the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan in the capacity that I do. I'm a worker. I'm not a talker. I like staying on the grind to produce results. That's what a helper does. That's what a laborer does. A laborer lifts. A laborer carries. A laborer sweats in the sun. And a laborer takes a brief break and then gets right back to work. Then he earns a little, or her, a longer break, but then they get right back off that break and get right back to work. For Allah says in the Holy Quran, surely after difficulty comes ease. Surely after difficulty comes ease. To this husband and wife, Student Minister Marcus Muhammad, his wife, Sister Cecilia, let's give them another well-deserved round of applause for their great, great work with the Marriage Keepers and the Marriage Retreat, 9th annual Marriage Retreat. All praises due to Allah. I thank them for this weekend in New York. They've been around the country, and they found their way here again. Last time they were here, they was here in the mosque, but we found a nice little hotel in the People's Republic of Brooklyn, on the corner where it used to be a Buick dealership, black-owned Buick dealership. You would never know it now because it's the Hampton Inn, and there's been a lot of changes. There's changes here in Harlem. Buildings that have been put up that you would, if we told you what was there, you said, no. Because it's something how one thing is removed and the footprint of a new thing is put in its place. And I want you to think about that for all of us arrogant ones that think that God needs us. Allah says in the Quran that he'll take one people away and put another one in your place. So you and me should walk humbly on the planet and not think we so needed by God as though he can't bring another one like us in our place. Walk humbly. We special to God, but we ain't that special that he can't take our lives. So we ask him for his forgiveness. We beckon him for his mercy. And then we're thankful when we receive it. Talk back to me now. Our Creator is in charge. He's overlooking and overseeing everything that's going on. So he sees what you're doing, beloved. And he's going to reward you and continue to reward you. And he rewarded you this weekend with the couples that came. I mean, we was jam boogie up in there. From the Juma prayer to session after session. But it was nice. It was intimate. It was no way for us to go. Everybody had to be in attention mode. I like it that the room wasn't larger than what it was, because Negroes get lost in a larger space. And they do what Bernie Mac say. Bernie Mac said when white people go on a break, they go and come back. When my people go on a break, that's what they do. They break. You know what it means.
Thank you for joining us another week of Social Justice with Rev.Kevin McCall. We are delighted that you took time to be able to watch us. If you are in a crisis, doesn't matter how big or small, we can help you through it all. Just call us at 929-320-3911. We can be able to help you through your crisis. If you need prayer, there are people standing right now at the phones. You can call us at 929-320-3911, and we can pray with you. If you want to be a blessing and donate, doesn't matter how big or small the donation is.
She's a pure racist. She definitely does not need to be around children. She said, why are your kids working on a Black History project when you teach English language arts? Because Black history is every subject. Black history will continue in my classroom.
She told me that we were not doing anything but putting pictures on boards. I told her that we are reading and writing, putting it into our own words, and we have 5-paragraph essays. She told me it was nothing but art, and it doesn't matter. I personally think that she doesn't want us to learn about our history because she knows nothing about it. And maybe if she took her time to learn about it, she'll have a different mindset.
We are standing up for our children, we are standing up for our students, and we are standing up for our history.
We're going to teach her a quick Black history lesson and let her know the power of organizing.
And if she is not doing that, then we will take this fight to the Justice Department. That's what we're going to do. No justice? No peace. 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 Justice. When do we want it? Now.